Hello, in this video I'm going to go ahead and do an example about how to calculate the surface area of cylinders. A couple of ideas to keep in mind going into these problems is that you're going to be working with cylinders which have the base shape of a circle. So your principles of a circle come into play, and the first thing that we're going to go ahead and do is we need to be able to calculate the area of a circle. Remember that area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. In this problem, we have a radius of 8 feet. So in order to calculate the area, we would just plug in 8 feet for our radius. When we square this, we get 64 pi feet squared. In order to be approximate, we're going to go ahead and calculate this value by plugging in to our calculator and computing 64 times pi, which is approximately 201.1. We'll go ahead and round to the nearest tenth. So the area of this circle with a radius of 8 feet is approximately 201.1 square feet. The other idea that we're going to need for these problems is the circumference. Remember, circumference is just the outside of a circle, the distance around a circle. If we were working with a rectangle, you would know that term as the perimeter. So circles have a circumference, which is the measure of the outside. The formula for a circumference is 2 times pi times r, where r is our radius. We can go ahead and calculate the circumference by plugging in my radius, which the same circle, it is again 8 feet. Thus, we have 16 pi feet is our circumference. Again, to be approximate, we just plug in to our calculator 16 times pi, and we get a value of 50.3 feet. So this is approximately 50.3 feet. So remember, our objective for this lesson is to find the surface area of cylinders. Remember, surface area is the total area of all of the faces and curved surfaces of a three-dimensional figure. So just as if this were a can or a trash can or some other cylindrical shape, the surface area would be the outside, the amount of area on the outside of a cylinder. The formula in order to find the surface area is S is equal to L plus 2B. This comes from the lateral area, which is this image here, plus 2 times the area of a base. So the area of this circle plus the area of this circle gives us this formula here. In order to break it down in terms of radius and height, which are the values necessary to calculate surface area, we have 2 pi r, which is just the perimeter or the circumference of a circle. So we have the circumference of my base multiplied times the height. This will give us our lateral area here. Additionally, we're going to add 2 times the area of a base. And the area of a circle, recall, is pi times the radius squared. And I have 2 of those. So I'm going to add these values together. Some general principles to keep in mind, or a step-by-step process for this these type of problems, is we will always need the radius and the height of a cylinder. So those should always be your first 2 things to target when you encounter a problem. This will help us calculate our lateral height, which we'll do the third step. And once we have our lateral area, we can go ahead and find our area of our base, which is pi r squared. Once we have all these values, we can go ahead, plug them into our surface area formula, and compute. So let's go ahead and look at an example. In this problem, it says all the surfaces of a trash can in the shape of a right cylinder are going to be painted. So this is all of the surfaces. Find the area that will be painted in square feet. So we must keep in mind we want our answer in square feet, and we want to round to the nearest tenth. So looking at this problem, I have a trash can with a height of 2 feet. They tell us the height is 2 feet. Additionally, they tell us that the diameter across is 15 inches. The diameter gives us a clue as to our radius, and remember radius is half of the diameter, so I go ahead and I divide 15 by 2, and giving me 7.5 inches is my radius. However, they want the square feet area of the trash can that's going to be painted. So we need to convert my radius, which is 7.5 inches, and we want to convert this into feet. So the conversion between inches and feet is 12 inches per 1 foot. Remember, you put your inches on the bottom because we multiply straight across, and we want our inches to cancel. So this will give us 7.5 inches times feet, and that's divided by 12 inches. So therefore our inches cancel, and we can calculate the value 7.5 divided by 12, which gives us 0.625 feet. So thus, step 1, which is find our radius is 0.625 feet. Step 2 was initially given to us, find the height of the cylinder. Here our height is 2 feet, easy enough. And step 3 is to calculate the lateral area. Remember, the lateral area, that is just the outside or the side of the cylinder, the curved area. And we can calculate this by taking the circumference of our base, which is 2 pi r, and then I'm going to multiply that distance by its height, and that will give us the lateral area. So I'm going to multiply that times the height. Okay, I have both of these values. I have my r and I have my h, so I'm going to go ahead and plug them in. So 2 times pi times r, which is my radius, 0.625 feet, and I'm going to multiply this times my height, which is 2 feet. And I'll go ahead and use my calculator. 2 times pi times 0.625 times 2 gives me approximately 7.9 square feet. 7.9 square feet. Remember, we're rounding to the nearest tenth, so that's why I rounded to 0.9. That's step 3. Step 4 is find the area of our base, find the value of b, and what I generally do here is I calculate 2b. It's much easier to go ahead and multiply by 2 in step 4. That way step 5 will be much simpler. So I'm going to go ahead and calculate the area of a base. So I have a circle as a base, which the area formula is pi r squared. And remember, I have 2 of them. I have a top base and I have a bottom base. So I'm going to multiply by 2. 2 pi r squared. We already have the radius, so I'm going to go ahead and plug in this value, 0.625 feet squared. And punching this into my calculator, I get 2 times pi times 0.625 squared, and we get 2.5 square feet. 2.5 square feet. Okay, and again, that's the area of my top and bottom base. Okay, I have the area of both my bases. I have the area of my lateral area around the edge of a cylinder. So now all I'm going to go ahead and do is plug it into my formula, which is S is equal to L plus 2B. I have L. I have 2b, so I just go ahead and I compute. So 7.9 feet squared plus 2.5 square feet is, sorry, not 8. 7.9 plus 2.5 would be 10.4 square feet. Thus, the area of the trash can that needs to be painted is 10.4 square feet. And we're going to go ahead and write a sentence that states something like that. The area of the trash can to be painted is approximately 10.4 square feet. Okay, and that is an example of how to calculate the surface area of a cylinder.